Hello everyone, and time to get blown sky high. Back by popular request, here is the incredible sequel to Let's Get Physical and someone special from last season of the VBLS Season 9, and now it's the VBLS Season X, and we have the Tornadus and Thundurus divisions. And when I say we, I have, you may know him from the 3 other videos he's been in. Please say hello to Ryanogiggs.
And back by popular demand, and the sequel to Ryanogiggs, A to Z, is Ryanogiggs Blown Sky High.
Weren't you in 2 A to Zs?
No, just the one. Just the one. We done back-to-back videos where it was just a game, and then the A to Z
as well. But maybe that was just me combining doing A to Z videos with asking you to be in this.
Never got the callback, you know? Never got the callback.
I did ask you to be in this, but I think when I was originally talking, I hadn't thought about the fact that it was almost it was almost content week, and now it is content week.
Yeah.
And I need to get this done.
Honest.
So this video will be releasing later than my usual videos on account of so
no, I will either be in playoffs or out of playoffs by the time this video comes out. So
this video is coming out immediately after this call.
Oh, so I won't. You won't know. You'll know by Sunday maybe.
Yeah, you won't know from myself either. Actually, they won't know because they won't know. No, you've head-to-head against both of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Blown Sky High. So, for those of you who aren't here from the last season, this is where we go through each coach in the Thundurus division, and we take a look at what our favorite play was from them this season. So, getting the chance to focus on, because there are a lot of coaches, and obviously as playoffs come in, I think now is the perfect time to be able to commemorate all of the coaches who didn't, who have left their mark on us this season. And when I say all of the coaches, I don't actually include Casey because I just do the coaches that are still in the format. So I love you too, Casey. You are a great friend, and we should probably multiplayer, do a LAN party again at some point. Not LAN, but the online version of LAN. But yeah, that was just multiplayer. I said the right thing initially. But the rest of the 16 coaches that are still in the Tornadus and Thundurus division, including the replacement Pardus, definitely want to get the chance to spotlight all of them. And I should hopefully have the Earth Division one after. So, Pygo, one of the incredible newer coaches this season, who had just a really, really fun game against Meowscarada. This is in draft order, by the way. So that turn was my favorite play, but it was a real part of an overall game plan. Now, I will just keep this aside for Ryan.
Yeah, play music off, something I really need to get used to instead of just muting my whole laptop, but hey.
Yes, when we started the call, Ryan could not hear me because his music was muted from having looked at these games. So
I was like, do you know what I would love if they implemented a play no music, and I'm extremely blind and just saw this play.
Circled. Yes, so
okay.
Yes, but that aside, this series was a really fun back and forth series between Pygo and Zeros, who both have some really strong teams. But here's the play from a Pokemon who was really impactful back in Season 8. Now, this wound up, a really early advantage with that, getting Trick Room set up and really pushing Pygo back, switching in on that Wisp play, really, really putting it ahead. But Pygo kind of, realized that this Cresselia was being relatively passive, and then the Torkoal is being obviously quite limited in its options with this bulkier version of Spiritomb. So if the Heat Wave had gone off, then they would have healed more last turn. And then just installing out this Trick Room to try and get into the position to clean. Nightshade, very effective with this Pain Split set, just having that consistent HP damage. And look at this. We see Fluttermane coming in Sun, absolutely terrifying Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
And here's the winning play. Terrabug to live any damage, does have Bug Stab, but we actually just see Terrabug being used here as a defensive Terra type.
Yeah, something you don't see a lot. The the Terra Bug, but super effective here.
For sure.
So, well done.
I believe the set is also Swarm, because it's not Guts and it's not Moxie.
Yeah.
Or it may be Guts, but without the thing. No, it is Moxie. Sorry,
Moxie.
I'm stupid. I apologize for everything. I thought it got the previous KO, but you're right. I put it to 3. But no, it is, just really fun seeing, like these, it's a stab terror, so a lot of moves are already going to be being thrown around. Obviously, the fire moves are also being thrown around. But seeing the Heracross use that terror to just be able to sit there and be really difficult for both the Moonblast Cresselia as well as the Dazzling Gleam Fluttermane to remove. And even if that Moonblast had come from Fluttermane that turn with that Sun Photosynthesis boost, that Heracross had just played sealed it.
Absolutely. Like I've seen plenty of chat in VBL during the draft week, especially just about Heracross being just such a nice kind of lower tier mon. I hadn't seen it much, but obviously displayed here, done the job, the Terra Bug, and got the win in the end.
Yeah, definitely. It's fun seeing like the more unusual or interesting terrorists really be able to pull it off. And then on to another one of the ones that I did. Our rank 2, one of our comeback kings here this season, James Dalton Bell.
Absolutely.
Playing against one of the all-time strongest performing VBL players, as well as one of the people who won their conference last season, Pop and Fresh. And this beautiful turn 1 play. Okay, so the Frisk comes out, and James is like, well, they know this is Cobra-Cloak. There's a 1,000,000% chance that a fake out is coming here into Screamtail. So they go for Rain Dance and Thunder. Now, notably, the Taunt doesn't actually go for Screamtail. For Tailwind. And it goes for Trick Room. But that doesn't matter, because the prep has just been consistent enough, and actually the defensive terror on Screamtail, being able to prevent it pushing out damage into it, because it resists poison rather than being weak to it, just meant that it was able to try and sit here and maintain process, get these howls off, put in some chip from Stomping Tantrum, and really just be an absolute nuisance to deal with. Even if it does wind up obviously eventually falling down to the Wicked Blow. It just puts them in that position, makes this incredible extra play of double protecting here to avoid Sucker Punch specifically as well. And just really, really fun and well played game from our colleague, friend, and companion, and Mono Rock Tomb.
Our own Doc, the Doc himself.
The Doc.
Yeah, I think Screamtail is one of those mons where it's just like, you don't know what it's going to run. Like it can just be so useful, and like getting the fast Rain Dance off for the 100% Thunder. Just that Tornadus was just left with no chance, and really well played from James.
Yeah. Absolutely well played. Really, really fun and interesting plays coming out from James, who was, this was a big part of that comeback. So really, really happy to see it.
0-3, wasn't he? And now he's gone on some run. So sorry if you aren't 0-3, but I 3-3 at this point. Yeah. So that's takes a lot to come back from that.
Absolutely.
He done incredible.
I think Goose, myself, and James all being at that 0-3 at the start of the season into 2 wins. Then Goose dropped off last game, and then we're still yet to see whether James and I will be pulling it through.
Absolutely.
So now Sukaba, this is one of the ones that you picked. Sukaba has an insane team. Sukaba has a bunch of Pokemon that I have, but they work.
Well, this one was it was more of a fun pick, and it really just it showed off the Decidueye-Hisui, and you'll see in the first turn here you got the Razor Shell. The Hariyama will go down pretty soon. Oh no, here we go, and it's just 4 crits in a row to win the game. So it's triple arrow crit, and then next turn. Oh my god!
And this team is so fighting weak as well. That reflect. That reflect really serving not to facilitate setup or like a particularly long game play, but instead allowing to facilitate just having a tanky Pokemon sit on the field and get enough damage out. And
Yeah.
it is really fun when you have the ability just have a Pokemon who you know just has an I win button in the matchup.
I, especially because triple arrows, obviously not the only effect is the critical hit, but it's just so fun to see crit down, crit down, crit down, crit down. 4-0, and I just thought it was a really fun play from Scoba. And as you were saying yourself, the opposing team's just so fighting weak. Really well prepped, and
I mean, the two fighting type checks, which are both decent fighting type checks in Tornadus and Balisand, not hitting the field. So, Decidueye not even revealing if there is an extra attack.
Doesn't need to. When it crits, it crits. That's the way it is.
For sure. Really, really solid. Obviously being on the back foot from an Amorous going down through Reflect. From that, I don't know if that Heavy Slam would have picked up without the defense drop or not. Obviously, an Amorous is quite tanky, but it's also not very heavy, and Hariyama was Terra Steel, so it may have fallen anyways. But yeah, we'll definitely see, and that was a really, really fun and well played game from Tsukaba. Now, Jace had so many games where Jace just had a game plan, and that game plan just popped off. And then Jace had a bunch of games where Jace had a game plan, and that game plan did not pop off. And it was really difficult going through all the games to try and see what I thought the most fun or interesting play was. So I went with one, which was just a game plan popping off. So a lot of this comes out of prep and not necessarily a particularly crazy play, but it was taking risks that really paid off. So here at this team, this lead preview, the Intimidate goes off into Ice Cube and Mouse Hold. We see that the Ice Cube is not Clear Amulet, which to me does tend to suggest that it may be probably isn't Swords Dance. So then that it is likely Belly Drum, because Belly Drum maximizes your attack. So even if you have -6 attack, it always goes straight to +6. So then seeing that. And it just goes, okay, I'm calling it. This Mouse Hold is Friend Guard, not Technician. I have a most devious plan to follow through from here. So we see just pretty basic, straightforward. I imagine this Thunderbolt was probably aimed at Ice Cube. Oh, skill swap. Now you have Intimidate onto both of my special attackers, and this one has +2 attack. And also I have Friend Guard now. Now that Friend Guard isn't necessarily going to help against Ice Cube, but what does help against Ice Cube is that the Ice Cube isn't Icicle Crash. It's Icicle Spear. It's Ice Spinner, and it is able to just completely remove Ice Cube. Now we do learn then that the Skill Swap Intimidate is on a physical attacker, which obviously isn't as easy as on the special attacker, but just completely taking advantage of what your opponent's doing, having a really good game state there. Because if that was a Technician Mouse Hold and it just dropped an attack into the Kilowattrel, giving them Intimidate is not going to help much, but having that sense of game, I mean, losing Technician probably is, but having that game state sense, and just absolutely having the read on Void. Really,
absolutely, and getting that competitive boost, as you're saying, onto the Mon is just, it just makes it so much more powerful. I think I actually remember watching this game and trying to incorporate it into one of my draft leagues with a Gothita. So with the skill swap, getting the Intimidate off, or no, was it? I remember watching this anyways and just being like, that was just such a great play.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Milotic coming into the game, it's and Empoleon getting competitive now, they're kind of the most premium competitive mons that we're likely to see for a bit. So they, you may be seeing that more commonly, but this is in suddenly that rare sort of situation with a mon like Kilowattrel.
Yeah. Well, I've seen Empoleon's been doing really well on even some of the tournaments, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that does next season. So
for sure.
Watch out.
I just realized how top loaded this is with my stuff, and I think towards the end it's also but yeah, we did 8 and 8. So Steve, absolute monster. But Steve has had some really games, some really interesting games, but this was just what really stood out to me watching through it. This was the play just really, this was game 3. It had been a very volatile matchup with Void's team really taking Steve's team to task, and Steve is just kind of in this position where needs to clinch it out, right? Really, Knuckle Stack had been like a big issue. Goldango is, quite powerful. Landorus is really intimidating, though it was maybe a bit underwhelming this game. And Mousehold was feeling really inconsistent. We'd seen that it was Technician, but not Wide Lens. So it has been, missing a bunch of pop bombs. It's been throwing off. We had seen Chilling Water in game 1. So just going for the bait here. And it does wind up getting rewarded as well. So getting the Intimidate off to make it so that Mousehold and Gallade are not going to be doing anything to Articuno. Now, protecting on this Chilling Water coming in, and what was likely a Sacred Sword coming out of Gallade, or potentially a Psycho Cut. And then, now, is rewarded with this, with the Hurricane hit and the Confusion. I think that the Articuno was Wide Lens. I don't remember. There was a Wide Lens Articuno at some point. But yeah. Getting that Hurricane Confusion obviously worked out well, but had a Sacred Sword gone into this Protect, or a Psycho Cut gone into this Protect, would have been much the same.
Yeah.
I think it also had Leaf Blade, or was that a different game? I don't remember.
We've watched so many games in the last 24 hours that some of them are just molding into other ones. So
every single game, yeah. So
absolutely,
yes, definitely, yeah, really, really strong positioning. This Protect play. Stole the game away at lead, which is insane.
Yeah.
Because the Intimidate was enough to really eliminate that, and then following that up with this, Clear Amulet this time. Obviously the Hurricane winds up missing, and the Rock Slide winds up missing as well. It's just kind of everything going on at once. But being able to force in the Lando, or even better, potentially like a Golengo or Scizor, which is then immediately losing, and then just playing so defensively in a way which winds up being incredibly consistent for this team,
absolutely. Like sometimes the best offense is defense, and if you can just control the game as well as we're seeing here, you're gonna put yourself in positions to win.
Really, just forcing them to have answers every single time, and then Arcanine still coming in just to clinch out that game. Arcanine wound up being incredibly important for winning this game for Steve. But so Steve just knew that from the previous 2 games. Void knew that as well. Steve was able to force them to respect the Arcanine to try and put damage into it, and with that Protect, the game was just over.
No, absolutely. I feel like Arcanine was even when Arcanine came in there and just how little damage it had on it, I felt like it was just so prevalent early game. It just with those Protects and taking a lot of attention onto itself. I have to say, just a really well played game there from Steve. And
sometimes what someone does turn 1 game 1, like Jace's game, can be really flashy and really fun, but just having this incredibly solid play from what is definitely an interesting team, a team that's been played well throughout the series, knowing how to force your opponent to make errors. I think that your chess talk where you've got forced errors and unforced errors. This was very much like a forced error. They were. Steve's team was putting out so much pressure against Void there, and they really had to respect the Arcanine, as we saw throughout the game. And Steve was able to leverage that into functionally removing the Gallade.
Really well played from Steve.
Absolutely. Now, to Poppin, who's also one of mine.
It's more you.
Why is there so many?
I'm going to have so much time to talk at the end.
Until the last one when it's me again. No, fast. What was the play this time? Oh, yeah. Okay. Funny Frisk Goth gets some very, very juicy information here, and we immediately see the offensive play. Knowing the Salad Berry, but the important thing is knowing from... Actually, was there a previous game to know this was up? I think this was a game 2, right? Yes, this was game 2. So having gotten some information, and then having had enough, just... knowing that you can get a lot of free moves out of this Torn, and sitting there to support it with Goth, and then knowing when to switch Goth into clicking that Foul Play, into clicking that Trick Room, and then being able just to clinch it with everyone's favorite Pokemon in Stonjourner.
I love mid-game Trick Rooms. Mid-game Trick Rooms, and when, knowing exactly when to Trick Room, it can just be so vital in the game, and he knew what was going down there. He knew Stonjourner was coming in, and it tidied up.
If you like mid-game Trick Rooms, the series as a whole, definitely entertaining.
I'll go back and watch for sure.
Alright, so now we have Potters.
Hey, it's me again. Yeah, so the really cool thing about this game happens at the start, and it's
It's game one as well.
It's game one. Sorry.
Yep.
So it's all about speed control. So what we see here is we have the
I love
fling
Frisk.
King's Rock from Grimmsnarl onto the Farigiraf to get the flinch, while we get the Shell Smash here. So like, this is
And
one of
that
those
defensive
turn
play
ones.
on that Icicle Crash as well.
Oh yeah. So it's one of those games here where you want to be fast, they want to be slow, and the amount of setup and just stopping that trick room at the start. Obviously the game's not over, but you put
You're in a
yourself
really
into such a
commanding
lead
position.
here. This
Absolutely.
is and as you see the game goes on, he gets rid of that option of trick room. He makes some really good reads with some of the protects.
Yeah, and also the read, like the information from Frisk to know that it is not Covert Cloak. I believe this set also was Taunt, right? And then it had that Frisk there to know either, okay, I'm either going to be able to fling the King's Rock into you if you're Covert Cloak, sorry, if you're Mental Herb, or taunt you if you are Covert Cloak. Yeah. And that was just such a really good prep that played out incredibly well. And knowing to get that Terra offs, to keep Grim healthy, to be able to exert consistent pressure with this Cloyster. Yeah. We love seeing Cloyster pop off here on this channel. This is a channel that loves seeing Cloyster.
Big Cloyster fan. I've learned, and even here, not going for. Oh, sorry, he does go for the Icicle Spear for this one, but you'll see the next turn he ends up going for the Liquidation into the Heatran, I believe.
For sure. And bam.
There we go. He's just put himself in the position right now where very hard to lose.
And I don't know if that KO'd with Wochian on the screen as well because of the Tablets of Ruin. So. It certainly seemed with that play after having gone on light screen on like they were Pardus was calling a switch out from camo, and if so, that was definitely the play that worked out, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think like it can all just come back to that turn one, right? Where like you can even see like right now, Camo's playing well. He's getting some protects. He's getting his Leech Seed up, but that turn one just put him in such a position where this is a very interesting end game.
It's Wochian end game where Wochian pretends that it is able to 6-0 one of these things. Like this protect only saves them the flash cannon damage because stomping is doing double next turn to make up for the dodge.
It's its own live Wochian moment, just hanging on as long as it can.
Yeah, and then the Leech Seed going into the Goodra, you feel very very happy about.
Absolutely. And look, as I said here, I think Camo made some really good plays, but just got to show just how important that first turn was.
Getting that advantage was really difficult for Camo to come back from that.
Absolutely. And the amount of prep, as you said yourself, like for Farigiraf is just such a decent mon.
And Frisk on Grimmsnarl can be so overwhelming. I think there are some games where Prankster Grimmsnarl is just incredible, and then some games where Frisk is so important on a Pokemon with this offensive move like spread with all of this positioning, especially against something where they do have Armor Tail, and you can't do the funny things. Very good.
Well, I was there's a few things I've really come to appreciate since I started draft, and offensive / Frisk Grimmsnarl sets are something I've really come to appreciate because I've used Prankster Grimmsnarl a lot, just laddering, and I was like, why would there be another set? And it's I don't think we might have seen a bit this game. It's just it can put pressure on offensively, but also just like Frisk getting the items. It's very very important, very good.
I mean, do you know the reason that it ran offensive last generation?
Why was that?
Because of the Gigantamax that put Yawn onto both of the opposing Pokemon. Which was quite strong.
I started towards the end. I loved.
Do you know what the problem was?
This might.
Yeah. No, it was really fun because the main reason it was good is because it was a Fairy Gigantamax move. Because if it was a Dark Gigantamax move, you wouldn't be able to click your Fairy Stab.
Yeah.
Because Misty Terrain would prevent them sleeping if they're grounded.
Yeah.
Because I know there was one other Terra, which was really bad.
Max Flutterby on the Butterfly. Butterfree. That was my go-to.
Max Dazzle or something?
It
Max Befuddle.
Oh, sorry for this.
It's Befuddle, right? The Gigantamax move for Butterfree?
What did I say?
Oh, you just said the actual, like the normal max move. Max Flutterby, which is the base one.
Oh yeah, and it
like,
was either like a sleep, a poison, a para. It was fun.
I mean, it wasn't as fun as the Pikachu one, where you just always para both, and they always seem to get full parried, and you were using
the
Pikachu.
big Pikachu.
But Butterfree's also quite cool because it was based off like Gen 1 Pikachu, which was cool. But yes, this was a really, really strong game, and Camo's team. We saw that Camo has such a strong composition into this team, where it was even trying to like juke it around in the late game. And imagine if Camo had started off with a strong game advantage, been able to get an attack boost on that Glastrier, been able to, bring in that Heatran, potentially even under Tailwind, under Trick Room. But instead, got a really strong advantage from early in the game. Anyway, maybe it could also be argued that this Icicle Crash should have been an attack into Cloyster, though it is possible that he didn't have an attack for Cloyster. Though it could be a ground move instead of CC for Goodra, I'm not sure. I didn't watch the series, you did.
Yeah. I watched a lot of series, so... I'm back again. This one is for Pancake. I really like this one. This is a really good play, and we're going to see it more towards the end of the game. It's a weakness policy proc on Glimmora, and it just goes off, and it's actually Hattrem that procs it. And it's just a really good way to show, like, I don't have Hattrem's points in front of me, but obviously it's on the lower end. Just how important a mon like that can be.
Top 15 Pokemon probably.
Top 15. Yeah, so we see that the Trick Room goes up here. It's obviously not something that you want to see.
You don't we're able to with the spike and the toxic spike, but yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he certainly. So part of the thing that I think is good about that play, right, is there's kind of like a give and take, right? So because Impidimp has been used to help set up the Trick Room. It has limiting what turns you can get to abuse Trick Room. So one of the turns is set up using Trick Room. One of them is set up switching Impidimp out, and then you've also then got the juking with Protects and all of that you could do.
Oh and sorry. The first part of this play as well. Obviously, the weakness proc was what I liked the most. Was actually I believe at the start Glimmora wasn't there. Glimmora was switched in, so he was able to get the fake out into the Glimmora, which got the toxic spikes, which also put
which meant
on a timer.
Which meant that not only is this Trick Room being stalled out by their actions, but they're also getting progress into Glastrier. And if they switch anything else, not only are they taking the toxic spike, which is putting them on a timer, like you said, but also they're taking that spike chip, which can remove sashes, do that thing. Certainly Impidimp is a Pokemon you often expect to be sash, so being able to get that Samurott line up there is quite good.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, just a really really well played game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Boss Fairy is interesting.
On. We get a few switches. This Life Dew just keeps Hattrem alive for just so long, and it just helps.
It does like doing that.
It does, and this is the switch here. We're switched in on the Trick Room, and the Brutal Swing comes in, which procs the weakness policy, which I was just like, wow.
And the perfect
Chef's
live
kiss,
as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we see the Sludge Wave come in here, brings Hattrem down to half himself. But look, it just Life Dew straight back up.
Beautiful, dude. Sludge Wave is such a fun move.
Oh, I love it. And then here we'll see the Farigiraf go down, but it's game over at this stage.
And there are definitely versions of this Gastrodon which, without the toxic spikes, could potentially have tried and stalled out there, but not with the toxic, right? The toxic,
no,
especially from that second layer, getting that damage that's ramping up over time means that they're not only on a timer, they're on a timer which is constantly like running against them, so they can't even like try and recover stall.
And I've done it myself. Sometimes you just need to start spamming Muddy Waters and see what extra drops you can get. I've been there,
but you're much less likely to win that when you're fully toxic poison, right? Because you had to get like a whole team. You have to get the Hariyama from lead. You have to get the Samurott that's in the back at 16. You have to get through the Hattrem. You have to get through the Glimmora. The Hattrem's not going to miss Life Dew.
Sometimes you just got to believe. Sometimes you just have to believe you have that plot armor and just keep going. Just keep hitting them Muddy Waters.
With a single toxic spike, you could have, right? Because you would have only been taking 12 a turn. And did we see recover? I don't think we saw recover, but we presume they have recover, right?
I would assume.
But with 2 toxic spikes, that damage just ramps up and you just won't be able to out-recover it. So, playing Glimmora as aggressively as they did really, really worked. Now, Zero's Gal. This one, I think, was me. Yeah, this was me. It's my last one before Void, I think.
And I have 4 more.
Yeah.
4 in a row.
No, I have 2 more before Void. Okay, so.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, this is a super fun game. Okay, so James makes an incredible turn 1 play. Goes to the Terra Poison to avoid the fire move doing any damage, gets a Howl off, and Stomping Tantrum removes Torkoal turn 1. However, there was something far more sinister. The Spicy Extract comes out, massively boosting the attack. The Howl boosts the attack further, and then the foul play from the Scarf Krookodile just is an absolute nightmare paired with the Tailwind thing. What's it called?
Yeah.
Chlorophyll. And then
yeah.
just consistently applying pressure. Obviously that play rough miss. We see that it would have KO'd. Obviously it's a +2 attack as well, so that's not particularly shocking. But I really just love this Spicy Extract play. From a really bad front line with that Torkoal being KO'd immediately when it was a super threatening Pokemon otherwise, being able to have that a completely different mode to what it looked like you were threatening come out and be able to put James's team down really strong. And this loaded dice bullet seed set as well, proving to be quite enough.
Yeah. And that's the fun of draft, isn't it? You can look at your opponent and you can make educated guesses, but at the end of the day, you don't know what they're running, you don't know what set they're going to go for, and it was very well prepped.
And we saw Zeros use the Trick Room version of the team in game 2 as well, quite effectively, which is really fun.
Absolutely.
Always nice seeing modes go. Okay, Camo Dude.
Okay, so this one, I believe, I was between 2, so I'll give a slight honorable mention to Camo Dude, just showing how powerful Surf into having Gastrodon as your partner can be, but I ended up going for this one because I just thought it was so game changing, and it's not a flashy play, it's just EVing your mons correctly and being able to withstand certain moves. So you see as the game goes here, it kind of goes into Slushy's favor. Gets the final Gambit off. He's able to get this Wave Crash off into the Enamorous. And then it's a 3v2 situation, and you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to win this? And we win this because we got a properly EV'd Farigiraf. 4% gets the Trick Room up. And
do we get the burn? No burn. That's hacks.
No burn. But it doesn't matter because 4% Farigiraf got your back. Does not hacks. Oh yeah. There's not much better Trick Room mons. I
think
Farigiraf
is incredibly obnoxious. I mean, Bruxish is as well. Of the games I've had, Bruxish has just been incredibly obnoxious for my opponents. That said, I think Serena probably sucks.
Yeah. But just to take away from this game, sometimes, you can just throw AEVs into this or that, but if you are well prepped, it can completely change a game.
Slushy's no Giga VGC play of bringing in the Chien-Pal with the boosted Falafin, but this is draft. Sometimes exactly what they are, what their upper limit is, right?
Absolutely.
And you're able to prep that, which is really awesome. So really cool to see that, and it wound up being incredibly impactful. Not only preventing further like a Jet Punch or a Sucker Punch coming out, but just enabling the Heatran to just go on the tear, right?
Yeah, it's so nice to see that pay off. There's so many times you might sit there and you might spend a little extra time EVing for this or that, and you might think to yourself, oh, is this really necessary, or is this? But if you put in the work, at the end of the day, it could come down to one turn, and come on, dude, showed it. Put in your prep.
Indeed. And Raymond, speaking of believing in your prep,
great guy, Raymond. Great guy. Let's check
Raymond is somehow incredibly, we've had Tay and Ray, and they've both been incredibly powerful players. And Tay absolutely has the banter. Tay has Tay says shit, and Tay backs it up. Ray is just incredibly nice, incredibly polite. He's like Stuart Little from the film Stuart Little. Actually, I wasn't even thinking of Stuart. I was
from
thinking
the
of
film Stuart Little.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of the brother who has the glasses and is always wearing a suit. That's Raymond, and then Stuart is Tay. when they went to the orphanage, and then like imagine being one of the other kids at the orphanage when the parents come in to adopt someone, and they adopt a rat.
This analogy.
Yeah. So somehow, despite being incredibly nice, incredibly professional, having like relatively little fans, right? Ray, just does makes teams that a lot of people would underestimate to do crazy things. And
absolutely, and I think the big play for this game is just seeing how great the supportive Weavile set is. So we're just going to see we're going to see the taunt here, which stops the Farigiraf, and then we're just going to see a whole load of fake tears, and you see the Sandsear Storm pick up the kill there. I don't think he goes for the fake tears this turn. I think he goes for the Ice Crash to finish off. But look at this work this Weavile's put in. 9 points. Look at this.
And they decided to buff it this season. And this is why I run Clear Amulet.
There's some people out there. I know there's some people out there who are questioning the first pick Weavile, but Ray has shown it. It can do it all, and we're seeing here, cleans house. Weavile doesn't get the 4 kills, but it's contributed into
every single kill that Weavile did not get. So they killed the Impidimp, and it absolutely made the other ones get it.
Absolutely incredible. And for such a mon that's just so, you look at the base stats, it's weak. It was so imposing this game.
It's such a big step down from last generation as well, without triple axle and knockoff.
Oh yeah.
Night slash.
You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it with the way Raymond's using it this season. That's
the key is to just run Icicle Crash instead of Ice Spinner. That's what Raymond says. Run Icicle Crash instead of Ice Spinner. But yes, no, Weavile taking basically no damage from the one hit that it took. Was that Fake Out or was that Ice Beam? No, it was Muddy Water. No.
Yeah.
No, what did he get? Oh, he got hit with Surf.
It was yeah.
Yeah, I remembered it was a water move. Except for the one I thought it was Fake Out. That was it. That was unrelated. Yeah.
So yeah, that was Stuart Little's win there against Camo Dude.
Yeah. Okay, so
Bebraf.
The man of many pronunciations. And incredible video content this season. Very consistent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't remember this game. Oh yeah, no, I remember this game. This game was the most this was okay. So Void has not at this point had a win yet this season. Void has had some really crazy games where their opponent has absolutely had their number. And this was probably the biggest one of those. So, okay, so the Protect comes out turn 1, and we see the Terrablast go out. Okay, now Stone Axe comes in, removes Fletchinder. Also, Bebraf is cheating. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to say the Stone Axe missed or whatever the wording is.
Yeah, when you see Stone Axe is hitting,
the Stone Axe. You know something's going right. So that's already one of the best plays in the history of competitive Pokemon.
And he's a mod, right? So
you're right. He probably hacked it.
You do need to question these things, but hey, we're not here for conspiracy theories. We're here to look at the good plays. So
So this play is just, I love this. Hey, let me Terra Steel in front of Lando. I eat this. I'm just checking intentions. I take this Terra Blast Ice, which is because I've seen that this Terra is meant for me, even with the flinch on what was a Spore because it moved after Goldengo.
Oh yeah,
definitely a Spore into the Goldengo, presumably into the Goldengo slot. Because I think if they were going for an attack, they probably would do it in Lando. But I also am putting words in their mouth. And then we see this stay in against Lando another turn. We feel, oh yeah, Lando actually does have Earthquake, and that could have been really bad. And then the Rock Tomb for speed control, but the speed control doesn't work because Tailwind's still up. And then we get a little bit of Intimidate. So we try and extend the game. We try and really limit what our opponent is able to do. And this Terra Steel in front of the Earthquake Lando. What does it wind up turning into? After I think both of these. No, that's right. Go crit. Very sad. We see a Raging Bull come out here, and would you look at? No, wait, no, that's next turn.
We're getting there.
Eventually, we'll get there. Then we look at the win condition. The being able to Rage Powder here, so that Rotom can't be threatened, and that because if this Pokemon was dead, they'd just be Rotom here against Goldengo, and Rotom's probably not invested as vocally as this defensive Terra Steel Toedscruel. This could very much have been a position where BRAF was forced to overheat or potentially risk losing the game. And being able to make the safe play of the double Thunderbolt because that Terra Steel in front of Lando worked out so well. I remember watching through all of BRAF's games, and that was just hell yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Played it like a boss,
Absolutely.
Notice how he switched up to the Rock Tomb mid-game because he knew after hitting the first move that we'd be onto him. What's Kleavor's move again?
Stone Axe.
Stone Axe, yeah.
Yeah.
We saw that hit. We knew something would be up, so he had to move on.
That's
But yeah, at the end of the day, being able to keep it alive and being able to rage powder at the end, sometimes you just need to be 2 steps forward. It's not always about the turn you're on at the moment, and he looks like he quite clearly saw the end game, and he was able to put himself in that position.
Just a really solid position to bring it forward to from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because obviously Lando's not going to Earthquake when it's next to Goldengo. So calling that shot, calling that position, and then just being able to follow through on it. Really loved seeing that. Okay, now onto 2 yours.
Now back to me, and this one is so it's Slushy, and I think this is the best, the best version of when you're choosing your team, when you're picking your team, and you're coming towards your low tier mons, and you don't have a lot left. Some people like to pick their 1s or their 2s, mons they like, but this 2-point mon that was picked up here is just
this is the illegal Pokemon.
This
Pokemon
doesn't look real from behind.
Was used in tournaments when it was technically not legal in the format. Because the validation, because it released earlier than the Slowking and Slowbro, right? So it technically released on the thing, but the validation, even though it prevented I think Venusaur and stuff from working, it allowed Slowpoke-Galar. So I think Wolfey brought it to a tournament. I think a few other people did as well, but I think Wolfey got top 16.
It doesn't look real from behind. It just, I don't know what it is about the sprite.
Yeah,
I think it's the yellow sprite as well.
Yeah, the shiny is quite powerful.
Yeah. So as you see here, what he's trying to do is just stop the Trick Room going up, and he has it in a back Slowpoke-Galar. You will see the Trick Room does eventually get up, and so we just see here.
Not the easiest start, right?
No, absolutely not.
Coming out. What is this? So
you see the Trick Room comes up here, and then the end game for J-Star here is getting that Arm Rouge in and just getting your Slice Spams, and we'll see the Slowpoke come in here. 2 points, this thing is 2 points, and it's bulky.
There's no Trick Room.
Reverses the Trick Room. It gets the Imprison up to stop any more Trick Rooms coming in. It gets the Slice Spam as well. Takes the Imprison, and it's just for something that's only 2 points to have such a impact on a game, you really need to look at the lower end of the scale as well to see what can really help here, which a lot of people do, especially in VBL. But it's just really interesting to see something that's just such a low tier pick.
So some people really did, and some people really didn't, right? I should probably make a video talking about that. I almost want to go on a 20-minute deep dive now, but not right now.
There's an incredible amount of value at the bottom, and
Absolutely.
As some people have gone for it, and you can see here, this is a quite top-heavy team, I think, as well with Slushy. So being able to get some value from that lower tiers is really nice.
For sure, Zangoose really carried this game, and Palafin low tier. No, Slushy really showed how to flesh out, getting a tournament team, a 5 Pokemon that they generally had just brought to a tournament, which is those 4 and Amoonguss, as we'd seen in one of the previous games, and then just going with it. And don't worry, J-Star gets that comeback.
And we get powerful J-Star.
Yes, no, they come back in J-Star, yes. Rip Casey.
Yes.
Gone too soon. Yes, so... Speaking of
we
EVs...
start literally from the start. So we see this acrobatics, and we see Meowscarada being able to live, get the Flower Trick into Tauros, and then we have it game, set, and match. So just being able to EV your Mons to be
Wait.
comfortable enough.
This Tauros gets Raging Bull?
Oh yeah,
Dude, I had no idea. I've watched this game. I didn't remember. I think
You
I
learn
just
something
assumed it
new
was
every day.
College. I have this Tauros.
I didn't know. I didn't know there was a play game with no music button, and you didn't know there was a Raging Bull Tauros on the normal form.
Yeah,
So
I have this
look,
Pokemon.
we both learn something new every day. But yeah, just having the confidence and just being able to EV your Mons that like, okay, you're gonna hit this acrobatics that's gonna be 110 base power,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm just gonna be able to sit here and take it. Yeah.
Just BM at this point. Like, not actually BM, but like just BM at this point. You know, it's over. There's really no game left. You know.
Yeah, you know, that's just such a hard duo to play against sometimes, the anger point. You know, if you can get that turn 1 right, the game can just be yours straight away. But if that turn 1 goes wrong, you can just put yourself in a position where you're not going to win the game. And J-Star was just really able to confidently hit that flower trick in, because he knew. I spoke to him, he knew, he EV'd
Not
for
just
that
that,
specifically.
but also it's like the early game, right? So being in a position where Sneasler really doesn't want to click Terror. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was probably a big part of it as well. And, you know, kind of
And
expecting the
this was-
Grimmsnarl is probably not running priority moves because, like a fake out or a sucker punch, because the Indeedee is here as well. So really just kind of being able to confidently sit there, especially when we've seen that the Sneasler didn't get a proc, right? So it's probably not using Swagger to proc the Reflect, what's it called, Mirror Herb either. So
Yeah.
having that like sort of game knowledge and that game sense, no, okay, they're not going to want to risk this turn 1, which means that I can get this really clear game and then, you know, decide to switch up to another plan next game or decide to go with it again depending on how my opponent answers it. And then, you know, Miss Dravis didn't even wind up coming, which was, you know, I'm sure probably not living one of the other 4 moves here. But
Well, it's funny enough, in game 3 Miss Dravis does come, it's able to tank a Rock Slide, but yeah, look, just once the flower trick set up, it just snowballs so much.
and the Pollen Puff as well.
You know,
the follow up was really strong.
Yeah, you'll see. We're not looking at game 3. It was actually another contender. You will see that the Pollen Puff does come in game 3. Well, we won't see because we're not going to look at it. But no, just
if you watch
the way
the
it was
games,
set
you'll
up.
see.
If you watch the game, you'll see. If you go back, but no, extremely strong from J-Star, and as I said, you know, just having the confidence to make the play, and being able to just snowball from there.
All right, and wrapping up with one of our coolest
The one, the only
players, Void. Really.
Congrats on your regionals top cut. If you're
so
still
proud. We're so proud. Probably
We're so
sounds a bit
proud.
condescending. We are honored to be in your presence.
Absolutely.
So this game was incredibly fun. This was a series that went back and forth. Like I said, really fun series. Zeros was in so many really, really awesome series this game, which is I think why they wound up on the other side. She's wound up on the other side a few times. But so the, you know, Sunroom, very hard to beat. What if we just took advantage of the Sunroom? Okay, you know, X is a you know, sharpness boosted. You know, you terror around it, but actually, I have terrored around your terroring around me. And Water Blast, and then 100% accurate Hurricane as well. Yeah, I've reversed your Trick Room back. How'd you feel about that? Oh, you know, goodbye. Nice Focus Sash that you probably had on that Berserker. The Galley doesn't even sharpness. I forgot about that. I had seen that, but I forgot about it.
Incredible.
And then, like, getting the double protect.
We're not confident, you know? That's... When you have it, you have it.
I think that probably wound up losing them this series overall, but you know, it's fine.
We're just looking at the one game.
It's fine. Though I think from what I've seen in the chat, they seem to have played their last game against our good companion, the Doctor.
The Doc.
In the meantime. So yeah.
We won't spoil. Watch the video. I'm sure there's a video coming out.
Definitely will be. I mean, I haven't seen the games yet, so
yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if Tux and I think are the last ones left to make a win. So hopefully Dragon's got that, I think. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think we've had. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, the Doctor's great, but I'd love to see Void win because Tux Mux being the only one without a loss. I'm here for it.
The only one without a loss, eh?
But the only one without a win. Oh my god.
You really just are on everything these days, eh?
I know. What's going on? Like.
It's like Do you at least like speak Gaelic? Can you pretend that it's because it's your second language, even though Gaelic would probably be your second language, even if you did?
I really can't. Can't even speak English properly, so you know,
It's like
the way it is.
I mean, I've had the occasional extended family member who pretends that Welsh is their first language as an excuse for why they don't speak English as well. But they don't speak Welsh very well either, and Welsh was definitely not their first language.
Oh yeah. Well, look, you've given me a good excuse now, so I'll just need to learn. Just brush up on a bit of Gaelic that I knew.
Just learn a language.
Yeah, just learn a language. Why not?
Obviously, I've got like random Scottish, like Scots slang from when my mother grew up, and you can borrow that. Half of Scots is Gaelic, anyways, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
it's probably like the other half of Gaelic is in Irish Gaelic, but
that would make sense. That would make sense.
By your luck. But yeah, definitely, I think the two of us were. Now you read it.
Blown sky high.
Hell yeah, that's an outro. Goodbye.